All right, we starting up. You know what? The conversation is about cheaters, but for the meantime, in between time, me and Bianca was having a conversation backstage that I felt was interesting. So we're going to include it into the show, and then we'll go from there. If you don't like it, fast forward through this bitch. In the meantime, Bianca, you got the stage. So you said you was hanging out with the industry party. You knew a couple of individuals in that lifestyle in those circles, right? And then what?
Yeah, like what one of my I should say old friends. She's a professional model. So a lot of her friends are professional models or whatever. So, anyways, long story short, we rented out this little mini mansion or whatever down here where I live, and we all got together. It was about 14 of us, mainly industry folks, some production, some models, some of this, some of that. So, anyways, we're having this really intense discussion about Bill Cosby because at the time, I'm like defending Bill, like, nah, he innocent. White folks is out to get him, blah blah blah. I'm on that bandwagon because at that point there was no nail in the coffin for me. You know what I'm saying? So um, the gentleman, one of the gentlemen in the conversation, he was a production assistant on the Cosby Show. He worked on the Cosby Show, and he said, Bianca, he said
The
you
the,
should
the
get
OG Cosby show back in the
the OG, the original
way
Cosby
back in the
Show,
day. Okay, okay,
back in
okay.
the 80s. Okay, and this is an older gentleman. I have a picture with a matter of fact on my page, and he's like, Bianca, you got to be very careful about that. He said, because I know people directly affected by that. He said, I dated a girl. She was also a production assistant, black girl. They were dating. Um, they had planned to go out on a date. She said, I'll meet you around 8. I have a meeting with Bill. And then after that meeting, I'll give you a call. He said he never heard from her again until the next day. And he was like, a little offended because she had stood him up. So he's like, hey, what happened? Da, 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 whatever, whatever. And she told him, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Literally, I got there for the meeting. I sit down, we're having a discussion. Bill offers me a glass of wine. I wake up and something happened. And he said, like, it affected that girl tremendously. And this is somebody that didn't come forward. So this is why I'm so adamant about that conversation about Bill, because it's like there's so many people that didn't come forward. Like, granted, there may have been some that came forward that were lying, but there's so many that didn't come forward that actually were. I don't know. I feel like this. Everything done in the dark comes to light. Okay. And if you are justified in your movements, then you will be all right. If you're not, you're going to end up sitting your ass down at some point, be it permanently by death or in prison. And that's just what it is. So sometimes we got to get out of the way of other people's karma. And I think black people got to have it doing that. This is why we got the RLP t-shirts and free little boo boo that killed 17 people, over a piece of pizza, stupid shit like that. Because we defend dumb shit. Some things we just can't. Sometimes we got to get out of the way and let the shit be what it is. That's just my opinion. So what you think?
My whole situation with Bill is, and you gotta excuse me, my son is in the background playing his little bouncer, so you hear the little jungle music. He getting it in right now. A lot of you niggas is babysitting your kid via picture and Facebook. I'm
You
with my
bold as
kid most
hell
of the
for
time.
that.
Hey, listen, we gotta be truthful. We gotta be truthful. But no, my thing with Bill is I, I I feel like his rights was violated in that case. Whether he did it or not, it wasn't proven, right? What was proven is
Mm,
they wanted to do a black man dirty because with that whole Andrea Constant, they didn't have no evidence. She went over to his house multiple occasions after the fact, and even in their deposition, they're pointing to it like he drugged her, but in reality, he said, "I gave her what Tylenol." No, not Tylenol. What the shit push you to sleep though? I know that much. um, Benadryl. Yeah, it was Benadryl. He said he gave her Benadryl, and they proceeded
yeah,
to
but
get their
this is the rub though. Even if that man waited for that woman to go to sleep to start playing with her pussy, he's a fucking dickhead, and he need to sit his bitch ass in jail. I don't
but
give a
that
fuck how many times she went over there. If he waited until she went to sleep to start playing with her pussy, then he's a bitch ass nigga.
But that was
Period.
never the thing. But the thing was never that she was unconscious and he fucked her. The thing was she didn't feel comfortable and she didn't, uh, submit to him doing the little shit that I submit's the wrong word, but yeah,
I
she
think
didn't.
that the details that you're missing is that part. That is a key point, the unconscious part, because that's Bill's MO. And he specifically speaks to his MO. That's what hung Bill. Bill admitted to giving motherfuckers drugs and knowing that they
No,
was gonna be passed the fuck out and shit like that.
no, Bill
Now,
never admitted
granted,
to.
he
Bill
admitted to
never
doing it in
admitted
a
to.
specific type of setting, but what he admitted to was some janky shit.
Okay, so
That's what hung
let's
him.
backtrack here. Bill said he liked to give bitches Quaaludes. Quaaludes is fun as fuck. Let me say this: Quaaludes don't put you out. You can play
What
with
do
some
they do
Quaaludes.
to you?
Quaaludes that have you fucked up and feeling like the world is wonky. It's to the effect of like motherfuckers say you can get drugged from GHB, which you can. But there's people out here in the party scene getting fucked up on GHB, and it's a epidemic right now, right?
Hmm.
So I I understand the dynamic of a drug will put you out, but motherfuckers in back in the day in the 70s and 80s was getting fucked up off them Quaaludes, or in the 80s they was getting fucked up off them Quaaludes. Them Quaaludes will send you to a whole different world and you be partying with them. So
Yeah.
I get where it comes off as strange that you would give somebody they drug a choice, or a
I
drug.
listen. This is something Bill has joked about for years. He is documented for saying these things.
The Spanish
There's
flu
no way
you
that you
talking
can
about?
slice this to make it okay. This is what has him sitting in jail right now. For
But
someone to play about putting Spanish fly in a woman's drink, you been doing that shit, nigga.
so that
It's not funny.
I'm gonna leave alone. I saw the Spanish fly joke.
So on Larry King, did you see the stand when he was talking about it during the stand up?
I didn't see it on Larry King. I saw the stand up. I remember the Bill Cosby bike.
Okay, you know, he was on Larry King bragging about putting shit in bitches' drinks. This is
Yeah,
my point. You know what I'm saying? So, and this was back in the day, and
that
he got away with it.
and that's cool. I agree with and I get like the whole dynamic, but the whole thing with him and Andrea Constant, I don't feel like he should have been hit for that. I feel like there's too much going on in the world to where uh a black man has to be worried about shit going on, and for you to put Bill Cosby of all people, a high profile black man with money, in jail for that, I feel like you can go and snatch every black man up in the streets.
Eh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't
So
know.
so
I
he,
feel like the tides are turning, and I just feel like Bill got what he had coming to him. Period.
maybe in a different set of circumstances, but you didn't have no evidence to say he did it. You didn't have anything other
I
than
don't
really
no, but what
hearsay.
you had was the actions of a guilty man, meaning whatever he did to that woman, she wasn't comfortable with it, and she went to the police about it. He wasn't prosecuted for it because at the time the DA felt like we ain't gonna prosecute Bill Cosby, so he let it go. The new prosecutor came in and found that that was very negligent on the last DA's part, so he followed through with the charges.
Yeah, he ran on that platform. He ran on the
Okay,
platform
so
to
the
get him.
woman, when she sued him in civil court, when she was unable to go through with the criminal charges, when she sued him in civil court, which is where this deposition and everything came from,
Right.
what she asked for was an apology, a public apology. She didn't sue him because she was trying to get all the money in the world. She wanted him to publicly admit to violating her and give her an apology. He, in turn, decided he was going to pay for her college, and he wanted her to continue to come in and check in with him as far as her grades and shit went. That's what he wanted. So it's very important to understand the context into which
She asked.
this
I
is.
mean, she asked the man. Nah, bro. She asked that man for recommendations. She was still coming to kick it. Like I don't give a fuck what a court order say. If a motherfucker did some harm to me or did some harm to my family or anything of that nature, you think I'm gonna be checking up on him and asking him for recommendations?
Listen, but
Nah.
we can speculate all day on how victims are supposed to behave, but that's just one thing you can't put your finger on. Victims, all
Uh,
victims behave in
that's
weird ass
all
ways.
fine and dandy. And I'm not even saying he didn't do some shit. What I'm saying is the evidence didn't point to him being arrested or being incarcerated. I don't feel like the evidence was enough for him to be incarcerated. And I feel like that's a dangerous precedence to be set for a black man in America. especially in 20. He got hit
I
in
don't know if
2018.
that's a precedence. I think that precedence was set years ago. This is what makes Bill Cosby an idiot because he spoke about this his goddamn self. He ridiculed the black community his goddamn self about being dumb enough to fall into the traps of the criminal justice system. And then this stupid motherfucking ass turned around and got caught up in it. So I
Well,
have
yeah,
no sympathy for him.
he did do that,
None.
but I will also give him his credit because he was influential in setting up black movies and entrepreneurship. This
I
man,
ain't mad at that. I ain't mad. He's still Uncle Bill, but he Uncle Bill in jail.
you gonna let Uncle Bill babysit?
Absolutely not.
Well, it is what it
He
is.
that uncle that you gotta watch with your kids.
Nah, see, that's the problem. That's the fucking problem. And don't ain't no man alive feel like that's some normal conversation. Maybe that's a woman thing, but there's never been an uncle you feel like you gotta watch with the kids.
Oh, well,
Nigga,
see, that's the rub. That's the rub. That's the denial. We have to be very honest about what the fuck we dealing with. There are some weird ass fucking uncles out here touching kids.
that's
So
cool,
regardless of if you
but
want to accept it,
nah,
there's some aunties and some uncles out here that need to be watched with the kids.
I don't.
And if
I've
you leave
never.
your kids,
Let me say this: there's none of those people in my family, right?
okay,
But
there ain't none of mine either.
but the fact that you could say that it it's uncle couldn't be around my children. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
not watch
understand.
them around. You couldn't be around. So like, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but if it's Christmas dinner and everybody is around the table saying grace, what you gonna do?
Nigga, you can't be
Get
here.
the fuck
Like,
out, uncle,
nigga,
while we say grace.
I'm that nigga. I'm that nigga in my family. Motherfuckers be like, you
What?
got no
Your grandma
respect.
gonna beat your ass.
Listen, I got no respect for nobody if you just get out of pocket. And everybody in my family tell you, dog, that nigga's crazy. That nigga ain't got no goddamn sense. That nigga will say some slick shit in a minute. Cause I'm that nigga.
I
Hell, my
understand.
girl is the same way. She say some slick shit to you in a minute. If you wrong, you fucking wrong. I don't care if I'm related to you or not.
I agree. I move the same way. So a lot of times, a lot of conversations ain't had around me because I am that person in the family.
Yeah. This shit's wild to me. Motherfuckers be like, yeah, just don't leave him around Uncle Billy. Nigga, huh? Fuck you, man.
Nah, Billy, what's up with you? You
Right.
out here touching kids, Billy?
Right, Uncle Billy. Yeah, I'm gonna need you. Come on to this back
I'm
room.
gonna
Uncle
need you to
Billy lumped
change his
up.
name from Billy though, because I really got an Uncle Billy, and I don't want him thinking that. I think that it's my
Yeah,
daddy brother.
I
I
heard
don't
you
need
on
him
that
thinking
show.
that we
What you
talking
was
about
trying
him.
to say? What you was trying to say, me?
I'm your Uncle Billy. Oh Lord.
Shit, that's funny as fuck. Nah, nah, Uncle Billy, we ain't talking about you.
We ain't talking about you. We talking about the hypothetical one. So yeah, that was all that was with Bill Cosby. I still feel like he is where he's supposed to be because at the end of the day, you got to answer for the shit that you do, be it the actual person that you hurt or the hypothetical person that you hurt. You're gonna get caught up regardless because that's how karma works. So he is where he is,
Now,
and it is
now,
what it is.
Judge say that's no different than Cardi B, who was drugging niggas to rob them and having a. What did she say? I think she said she was gonna have a transgender. Fucking.
Actually, that is different because here's the difference: when you're engaging in tricking with a hoe, and then a hoe robs you, y'all both engaging in illegal activity. So it's a wash.
Well, if you out partying, y'all both engaging in illegal drugs, and somebody illegally drugs you, ain't that the same thing?
No,
Hmm.
no, no.
All right. Well, I tried to play
It's
devil's
not.
advocate for it. I couldn't fight her. I
It's
really
not.
don't
It's
want
like,
to.
for example, there's an episode of Cops, right? I know you've seen this because this shit is one of the funniest episodes. It used to be on a Too Hot for TV video. So the chick calls the police. Oh, these motherfuckers stole my $20. That's the first red flag. They stole your $20. Yeah, they stole my $20. We'll come to find out they sold her ass some soap. She went over there to buy some motherfucking crack
uh,
and ended up getting soap and wanted her money back. So the police
crackhead.
officer told her, you were over here trying to commit a crime, and then a crime was committed against you. Like, there's nothing that I can do. It's a wash. So when a man is tricking, and I'm telling you this because I know somebody that actually did this shit. I know a chick that was tricking with a dude, put Visine in his drink, stole his
Oof,
car and his wife's purse. They took her ass to jail,
oof.
dropped all the motherfucking charges. You know why? Because he was tricking and the motherfucker lied about it.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm anti-tricking. Motherfuckers out here thinking tricking sweet, it's cool and everything else, but you put yourself in a whole situation tricking out.
Yeah, you had your whole wife purse stole. Like they took the Cadillac, they took the purse, they was out shopping, writing bad checks with the woman's checkbook, all
God
type of shit they
damn,
was doing. Yeah,
you
they
just
was
took the
clowning
whole
with that.
ride.
Yeah, all because he was trying to get some ass that was walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 a.m. and this motherfucker got hit with the Visine and was in the toilet fucking up, huh?
Exactly. Nigga
Well,
drinking it was over. And the kicker is,
so
this was this was my brother's girlfriend at the time. They got to an argument, and
oh no,
yeah, that's how
so
she
your
ended up
brother
out
was
there
the one who
walking.
got caught.
Well, see, what happened was they caught her sister in the car,
I got something to say on
told the police that my brother was the one that took the car. So they were looking for my brother, but they ended up coming to get her ass and locked her up. And then the truth came out. Craziness.
well, I got something to say on that. Now, if fine, that's just a wash. Then fine. If the broad knew Bill Cosby rich and you hanging around this nigga so you can get some money, and he go ahead and that's a wash too. Then, if you, I mean, if
That
you
don't
that
even make sense,
type
Jay.
of route, no. But wait a minute. If you want to
Oh,
go down
yeah,
that
let's make
route,
it kind of hard. Let's clean that up. Let's clean that up. Let's clean that up.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is this: if she think about, I mean, no offense, they know this man damn near billionaire. You going over there? Technically, wanted to, yeah, girlfriend came to do the deed. Was trying to say, maybe I can help her career or something like that. Then what? She came over there to screw. So that's like that. If you want to use an excuse like that, because then technically, the whole situation with Bill Cosby, damn old. That situation where he got convicted on is hearsay. Technically, it's like they believed everything she said, but nothing he said. Because he could be like, "No, we was getting high together. That's just what it is." I mean, I know people that was raised during that area. Quaalude was the drug of choice. Remember, like I said, my best friend is 28 years older than me. And that's why she was just like, yeah, I remember back during the day, that was what was going on. I was kind of a nerd, so I wasn't involved with it, but there were a lot of people on Quaaludes doing drugs like that. And I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, you go out with somebody who got money or got clout like that. I mean, I ain't, like I said, I can't stand Oprah's ass. But if I'm going out there and I'm going to her house, I already know what the deal is.
Mm-mm-mm.
And what if you don't know what the deal is and you get your pussy took? Then
Then
what?
you just stupid. Well, I'm just. Then that's like if
Yeah.
I want to sit up here and say, well, just because a person don't is ignorance of the law does not make the law invalid.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not
Since you
trying to
want to bring
understand
up
what you're
court,
saying.
since you want to
Ignorance
bring
of
up
the
court
law.
stuff, ignorance of the law,
Ignorance of what law?
ignorance of what if you don't know that men are always trying to fuck? That ain't
Let me
nothing
say this. So
new.
it's very
What
clear.
I
And
do
mean,
you
no
mean by
last
that?
time I
woman
last time I
shall
checked,
endure
listen. Look, I got a
sexual.
question here. Men would live in caves as long as y'all would screw. The only reason why men go out and buy flashy cars, Mercedes Benz, Lexuses, hook them up because why? Magnet. Period. I actually put on decent clothes when I go somewhere rather than my work clothes is so I can get laid. Purpose in life. Men may not want to come out and admit it, but I mean, this ain't no new rule. It ain't like it started. It's been 1,000 years ago,
You got daughters?
easily written
Do you
down.
have daughters? You don't.
Yes, I
I
do
know
have
you don't.
Uh-oh.
daughters.
And you
Uh-oh.
Yes, I
crazy as
have
fuck.
daughters.
You crazy as fuck talking
Well,
like that
I
with
just be a
daughters.
crazy fuck. Well, here's the
Ain't
question.
no
No, no,
crazy
no.
fuck.
It's just a
Just
double
because a
standard.
man has a
I
penis,
told my
what?
daughter,
Oh,
you
because I
going out
go
with
over
a
a nigga
dude,
house,
you
I
ain't
should
going out with a.
just make it make sense.
If you no, I'm
Mm,
saying
mm.
on that road, what you were trying to say. You was trying to say she went over his house, partying with him multiple times.
That's
Already
not.
know what it is.
She
You
went
don't
over there
go
to
over
party
nobody's
with him
house.
multiple
Like, I'm
times.
not going over your house,
She went over there to party with him
drinking
multiple
and
times. Can
doing
you show me
drugs
this in
and not
documentation
expecting
where
to
she
have
went over
sex,
there to party with him
man.
multiple times? Is that what
What?
they did multiple times? And we're
What?
talking
Wait a
about
minute. You partying and doing drugs with
2004,
them. What do
not
you think comes with sex,
1974.
drugs, and alcohol?
Jeez.
Same thing. That's the height of the era. Sex, drugs, and alcohol.
So they was doing Quaaludes in 2004.
So basically, in 2004, a lot of people had either the synthetic ones because China was making a lot of them, which they make now because they discontinued them, right? Or people was saving them up, and I don't know how the fuck they saved up so many. People were doing them; they just weren't in large doses. I think that Bill Cosby had lived in an era where Quaaludes was the thing, and he saw how the women acted.
Bill Cosby again.
Yeah, I think he lived in an era where they was getting fucked up off of Quaaludes, and he got accustomed to freaky Quaaludes
Man,
sex.
that nigga in prison.
Right.
That shit is
But
fucking crazy to
it's
me.
like what I'm trying to say is this: when we go down roads like this, unfortunately, this is think about it. If they can, not saying that. Listen, I'm not fighting for the man's character. He's a scumbag.
You
But the
can't.
fact is, wait, no. But the fact is this: this is what I
You
care
can't.
about. I care about if you can prove the shit in court. And
They
unfortunately,
did.
wait. Unfortunately, what happens is this: when it comes to black people, the rule of thumb is really small. Any damn thing can get your fucking ass indicted, and if
He
they
know
don't
that.
like your ass, you're still you're still going down. Think
He
about it.
knew that.
We would not have cases like Amber Geiger in under 2 years. I mean, shit.
Listen, you're
Think
not
about
telling me
think of the fact
anything
of this.
that
Look at the
Bill
shit that they
Cosby
do.
doesn't know
What I'm trying to
himself.
say. Here, I'm just trying to say, if a white woman can damn near kill your ass, and if they wasn't for social media, she would have never even been brought up on charge.
That's not true. I don't believe
And
that.
then for somebody to sit up here, and technically the main thing that got Bill Cosby indicted was just her word on something that supposedly happened 20 plus years ago.
No,
Do you,
it was actually in
what type of slippery
2004,
slope
which
you
is
going
not
on?
20 plus
Well,
years
look,
ago. So I'm going to need you to get your details correct because you're going to start sounding like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So
So
I'm
from
going to need
my
you to read up on the
20,
details a little
in
bit more.
2004, she hit him with a civil suit, right?
She hit him with a civil suit because she
she
did
hit it
what?
right,
She
but
tried to press
damn near
charges and
20
what
years
happened?
ago.
I,
What happened? She
I
tried to press charges. She went to
she
the
did
police.
go into the DA's office. The DA's office said this wasn't enough. We don't feel like this is going to be a legitimate case. This is going to get thrown away, easy, simple, peasy, right? So she did do the civil case. She got paid. She got a check. In that there was a deposition. The deposition, it was promised to Bill Cosby that this would never be brought up in the future, and that was that. So the money was gone. Everybody went on about their life. Now Hannibal Burris is the comedian who really sparked the fire with this because he made a couple of jokes and called Bill Cosby a rapist. The jokes
Because
were
that was the word on the entertainment streets.
yeah.
Everybody in the
This wasn't
industry knew what he was.
yeah. This wasn't a new
Of
thing, but
course.
Hannibal Burris is the one who really sparked the flame. In addition to that, we had the Me Too movement that was going hard in the paint. All of these things
Mhm.
sparked a new case that pushed and essentially got Bill locked the fuck up at this point.
That's
60 women
basically
came
what
out.
it is.
It wasn't 60 women saying that they were sexually assaulted. It was 60 women saying, hey, Bill looked at me. Bill may have grabbed my ass. Bill said something inappropriate to me. Or there was
Right.
several cases of women saying that they were sexually assaulted. Some were proven to be liars. Some were not. However, all of this contributed to Bill Cosby being put in prison.
Right. And just to give you an example, Bianca, I said as this: I'm not a person, and I don't look at things like I don't look at things, and I look at things open minded and fair. I am a victim of being raped. Me, myself.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, the woman produced a child out of the rape.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
That sounds
Christ.
tumultuous.
On top, no. On top of that, the woman
Mm-hmm.
put me on child support out of the rape.
To add insult to injury.
On top of that, wait. Just give an example. On top of that, I've been to jail for child support for that child for the rape. An example. So that goes to show you I'm being level. I don't take just because I feel and I was taken advantage of at that time. I will admit there's no that at the time, and I still feel even to this day, if I would have brought the shit up, it would have never made it. But I never spoke to the woman for the rape.
And you're one of her victims. How many victims do you think you have?
What I'm trying to say is this. That goes to show you how level-headed I am. And that goes to show
that mean you're level-headed because you didn't
technically, technically, it would be my word versus her word. And considering that I had messed around and been plenty of places with the girl before, how does that look? No, wait a minute, Dre. You done been here with the girl. You done been here with the girl. You done been here with the girl. But now you gonna say that the bitch raped you? I mean, come on now. I done been too many places with the female around friends, witnesses, everything else. And then for me to come out and raped me, come on now. It ain't going to go anywhere, especially being a man on this side. On the man side, they don't look that way to you. Just giving, I've told this story to females, and a matter of fact, I had told this girlfriend when we first met. Okay, about 7 months ago, the woman contacted me and child wanted to meet me. I said no. I said, see, I had to make my life a living hell over this child of a product of rape. On top of that, I do not lie to my children.
Met the child?
Listen. Yes, I did. I've never seen the child before. And just give an example. I do not lie to my children under no circumstances. So I said, do you realize if I ever meet this child and she asks me, I'm going to tell her.
So you know,
and I like my woman was sitting there listening to because it was on speakerphone. Well, I'm a different person than I was then. She told me that story. I thought you were bullshitting. But when that woman said, I'm a different person than I was then, I knew that you were telling the truth.
So Dre, you have been through a horrendous experience, and I'm going to treat you just like I would treat anybody else with these women.
Right.
I would do the same thing. Now it's totally up to you, but I already know you, so I know that you're a very open book. And I just want to ask you if you mind telling us the circumstances involving this situation that happened to you, and maybe help
questions
us
would you like to ask?
Other men that it happened to or would happen to or anything else. So how did this? How, they say most sexual assaults happen by people you know, right? Did you know this woman? You said you had been around with this woman. So how did you know this woman? What was your relationship with her prior to?
I had messed with her before, but then I found out that this is one of the things I did. I messed with her before.
So you
found out that she wanted a child.
You had consensual sex with her.
I had messed with her months before. Yeah, right. And so once I found out she wanted to have a kid, that's one of my rules. I don't have sex with women who even consider children now. Like, if you even think that, well, if you like, don't you have some people say maybe someday, I won't even have sex with you. Basically, I said because I didn't want no more.
Okay,
that's one of my rules. That's the only reason. I'm not even gonna lie. That's the only reason why I haven't had any more kids, because I don't even date women who would even having another child.
Geesh. Okay. So you what was the circumstances involving? Like, what happened that night to where it occurred? And you know, you can get as graphic as you want to, but what actually happened to where you were sexually assaulted?
This is what happened. Okay, I tell you what happened. I done told the story so many times. Okay, went out and it was the boys and the girls. So she went out with a group of females, and I went out with my boy. We went to the same place. All the men sat at one table. All the women sat at another table. Okay, we're sitting at the table, and I remember people that are like, Dre, man, he's like, I can't believe you can just cut somebody off like that and just don't have sex with them no more. And I'm like, shit, man, if you've been through as much as I've been through, you already know. You learn to have what we call good dick control. One of my things is, as soon as, if I wanted, like, say I'm with a girl and I know I shouldn't be messing with her, I think something negative about like what can happen. And boom, that takes all that drive away. Like, oh, never mind. I mean, literally. So I remember we were sitting there at the table. We were sitting there having drinks. She sent a round of drinks over. Now it's 4 people sitting at the table. For everybody at the table. So we sitting up there. I said, all right, cool. I'll be nice. Because, you know, I sent a round of drinks over there. It was like 6 girls. I bought everybody a drink at her table just to, you know, because the man was just going to be nice. Cool. Sit there. Do that. She sent another drink over for everybody at the table again. My dude make a joke like, Dre, she gonna fuck you tonight. You know, I'm like, shit, I don't know what you you know, and then that's when my other boy is like, yeah, no, he don't fuck around. Like, you know, once he stay off. End up getting toe up that night, drink, because more drinks came to the table, drank. Just give an example. I drank so much, I did not even drive home that night. So basically, and I remember waking up, she was on top of me, and I was telling her, get the fuck. Woke up that morning, realized what happened.
Let me back.
I told her
before we get too far. Wait, so you basically, she took you home, right?
Yeah, she took me home. Yes.
Okay. So in the process of you going home, do you remember walking into the house? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Only thing I remember like laying there, because you know one of my things is too, when I'm one of those ones, as soon as I like lay down, I'm gone. Like I can drink and sit fine, but if I lay down, you know, before I'm just like days like that. And I knew I was already. And at the time, I had driven down, boy, the keys. I said, look, dude, because I was the one that drove, so I had to take everybody home. I'm like, I just ride with her, and just take everybody home, and I'll, you know, come get me, and I'll, you know, we'll work on getting me home in the morning. He's like, man, you gonna mess with her? I'm like, hell no, I'm gonna as soon as I lay down, I'm gonna be passed out. Ain't nothing going on. And he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, the other dude was like, yeah, oh yeah, if Dre say he ain't fucking her, he ain't gonna fuck her. Woke up that night a couple times. I remember, because I've been to her house before, so it ain't like I ain't never slept in her bed. I told her, get off me. Get off. No, we ain't doing this. And I remember so the next day when I woke up, came to, realized what happened. I knew what happened. I was pissed. I told her, see, you know, I don't play like games like that, because one, I said, I already know you wanted another kid. After I heard that bullshit, that's the reason why I never fucked your ass no more. You was a cool person and all like that, but I didn't fuck you no more after I heard you tell another chick you was thinking about another kid. So okay, that goes on the case. I get up, leave. You know, dude come pick me up, leave. She called me a couple days later. You still mad? Yeah, bitch, I am still mad. I said, just give an example. If I would have been abroad, technically that would have constituted as rape. But just because I didn't fuck with you before, you know, if I went down here, they wouldn't do shit.
So I want everybody to be aware. It does count.
I've been drinking, and I went to your house with you. I've had sex with you before. About that, would you convict? Even if I was the judge, I done had sex with you before. I've been drinking like a mother. And then I said, because I mean, that's basically saying if I really wanted to be a hoe and if they wanted to believe everything out myself, they could be saying, well, you didn't have sex with this person before, drinking with this and partying with this person before, and now all of a sudden now you say that they raped you. Yeah, right.
I want to point.
I mean, think about the fact that.
I want to point out that women go through the very same scenario. So either sex, if this occurs to you, right, and you didn't want this to happen, this was sexual assault. Now you felt like you had a tough mountain to climb, and
Yeah.
you know, women go through this all the time because you've been out with the dude, you might be seen as a slut or whatever the case is, and they're gonna say, well, you wanted it, and that's the same thing they would do with you. So I understand when you feel this idea of not wanting to say something, but let me tell you this: you should have said something. And whether you were male or female,
Yep.
you should have said something, regardless of whether you feel like you were going to be believed or not. You should have spoken up and stood your ground on this situation. But go ahead.
Yeah. It was like I said. I have to look at I ain't even gonna lie. I had to look at my child support paperwork to see how old the child is. Cause I've never. Yeah, I've seen pictures of her. Matter of fact, I'll say that because Facebook, you can find everybody on Facebook. So, and I ain't gonna lie, like when that's my daughter all day. Because they look like me in the face, like in this one part that I like literally, you could just put some hair on one of my baby pictures, I put a wig on, that's me all day.
Poor girls, those poor girls.
Right. But just to saying, what? I mean, yeah, it's a tough bear to cry. Back then, they probably wouldn't have believed me at all because there wasn't no big movements like they doing now. If it would have happened now, I would probably feel that I got a chance of them taking that case. But back then, no. I mean, the only thing I would have probably had, because even my boys was like, "Damn, Dre," he was like, I'm like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, I was like, man, he said, "You would know you a dude. Ain't nobody giving that shit up." I even talked to a friend of mine that was a police officer. He's like, "Man, I ain't even gonna lie. We detective. We hear stories like that shit all the time. When it goes through men or women, half the time we think the motherfuckers just bullshitting." Somebody's face. He said we hear a lot with the women. Sometimes you find out that the woman was cool with him, and all of a sudden something done pissed you off. And think about it. You left the house pissed off. So you can't do nothing else. The best thing you could do is say, "Yup, she raped me." I mean, think about it from that point of view.
Now I want to be careful that I'm not too insensitive. My show's not too dick and balls for the women. Bianca, since we got you on the panel, how do you feel about his statement and his scenario? How do you feel about what he's saying? Because it's valid. I mean, shit, I feel like it's valid. He's a man. He feels like nobody's gonna listen to him. Nobody's gonna hear him out, and he's been out and seen with the woman. And this happens all too common with women. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Go ahead. Oh, I deserved
it.
You deserved it. You should have been.
I don't come from a place like that. That's not how I roll. You know what I'm saying? Being a person that has been a victim themselves, that's not how I roll. First of all. Second of all, I think that it's oxymoronic that you would first, and a woman knows what time it is, basically, and then turn around and describe this story. And I'm not saying that your story is devastating or anything like that. I'm not trying to diminish what you've been through. I feel for you. I think it's some bullshit. Oh, girl, need her head took off, but that's just my personal opinion. I think it's oxymoronic for you to come out and say that a motherfucker knew what time it was, and then turn back around and say that you didn't have an avenue to take as a victim because people would have been looking at you like you was a liar. Because that's what all victims go through. Every single one of them. So for you to
but wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. This is what
hold on. For you to take on the same mentality, like you know what time it is, that's like, to me, that's like Stockholm syndrome. Damn.
No. What this is what I'll say when it comes on to that. When I'm not saying you know what time it is. What I'm trying to say, when someone says you know what time it is, that's like kind of going at it too hard, just being too ghetto. But basically, I go by the preponderance of the evidence. the evidence would show, and her, like, even just give an example. I try to be fair and level-headed, even against me, where you would think I would be on my side. Technically, the evidence would show, Dre, you've had sex with this woman before. Dre, you've gone out partying with this woman and her friends before. Dre, you've been in her house plenty of times before. She's been in your house plenty of times before. I mean, you've had sex with this person. You've went out, drank, do your thing with this person. Now, what's the difference? I mean, literally any bullshit lawyer. I mean, to think about it, it's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt. If you got reasonable doubts, too bad. Unfortunately, reasonable doubt should have prevailed, and she should win that case. And I think about it, it's against me. It's against me, and I will say that technically there is no way I could prove. And think about it, I'm the victim here, and I know that, and I will admit that. But that's why I said the only thing that I can do after the fact, I even told her, I'm just, like this. You know I didn't want no kids. That's why I didn't fuck around with you no more. She even said, well, I'll let you know next week if I'm pregnant. So she called me that next week. Well, I am. I said, well, that don't change nothing. I said, yeah, you saw me how good a father you saw how good a father I am to my other children. I said, I'm going to let you know like this. Just because you played that game right there, I will only be a father on paper to your child. That's just what it is. Because if I was ever around a child every damn day,
so
the
basically,
child's going to hear me say
what
it.
I took from Dre's
It's not a person around your child.
What I took from what Dre said is it's basically Dre said that he was messing with the chick. He feels like he should have known better than to go home with that chick, but he didn't. She got on top of him. She extracted his seed. And the reason he didn't go to the police was not only because it would have looked stupid, but he kind of knew better because he put himself in that situation. So he's taking an L, which I really personally don't. That's a hard line right there. I really don't even want to stand. Like, I really don't even want to repeat it. But that's a hard line, because even if you know you fucked up,
That's some bullshit.
it doesn't
That's
justify
not
you
an L
being
you take.
sexually assaulted.
That's not
But
an L that you just take.
but
And
it
that's
is
not
a
Yes,
situation
yes, it is when you're a male,
Yeah,
especially
That's
we
because you
take,
chose to
unfortunately,
take it.
us men
African
take
That's because
L's
you
American.
like
chose.
that all
That's
the
because you
time.
chose to take it.
it's
What I
tough
told you,
all
I
the way
talked to
to
a police officer. He told me I don't got no. He said they ain't picking up no charges on that. To a woman,
That police
too. Come
officer,
on.
and hold on now. What? So the police is the judge and the jury now?
The police are
Either
the
they
ones
are or
who
they ain't.
who submit the paperwork to see if it's a crime or not. Why you think?
The
Think about it. The
paperwork they
police are
submit is
wait.
what you
The
tell me.
police are the ones who think about it. They didn't think Amber Geiger committed a crime. Because they never
Exactly.
submitted the paperwork. If
Then
it
where the
wasn't
fuck
no
is she at?
Police have
paperwork
to
submitted,
charge you.
it would have never went to be indicted.
Where's she at?
If it wasn't for social media and people threatening her online, that's the thing, that it was just because the videos got views. She was getting deaf. They was talking about shooting cops off site on site. There was some people crazy posting shit like that. That's why, but because they want that.
Yeah, well,
The
like I
Amber
said,
Geiger should
at the end
show
of the
you
day,
that bitch didn't get arrested and shit in media, because the police start getting death threats. It's already some research. It's already been times where just people, it's been vigilante killings of police where they got in a cop car, shot in the head.
okay, but that
Look
don't
it
have
up.
nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
My
Well,
point to you is that police officer basically talked you out of standing up for yourself.
I don't
Maybe
think so, Bianca. I don't think so.
they
why
That's
wouldn't,
don't
fine.
you
they
speak to
wouldn't
Ruff?
You're
believe
free to
that because I
disagree.
done had
You're free to
sex with
disagree,
her before.
but
Hold
this
on.
happens a lot.
Let
This happens a lot.
Raphael elaborate on why he don't think so. Why don't you think so, Raph?
I don't think so because of the fact that because how would he be able to prove that she did this on purpose? You see what I'm saying? Like, how would he be able to prove that she just jumped on top of him and she did this act? How is he able to prove that? How?
It's the same burden of proof
Right.
for all victims. It's the
It's
same
not.
burden of proof for
No, it's
No,
all
no.
not.
victims.
No, it's not. Not when it comes to a male. When it comes to a female, it is.
That's
When it,
what you believe.
no, that's not what I believe. That's what I know.
Okay. All right. Well,
Well, I mean, with the woman
I
that
mean,
take you into
we're
the rape,
talking about
um,
somebody. We're discussing this because we don't believe the victims of Cosby. So if it's not the same for all victims, I don't know what the fuck we talking about. First of all, second of all,
mm,
this brings me to Kobe Bryant. Same type of shit,
okay.
and he did that shit, and she got victimized and threatened and shit, and wouldn't testify. So it was dismissed without prejudice.
Wait a minute
But are
now.
we
Wait
talking
a minute.
about that?
Let's backtrack here.
No.
Kobe didn't rape the woman. So let's be.
Yes, he did.
Why do you feel like Kobe raped her?
Have you read the indictment? Did you read the paperwork?
Okay, so why do you feel like Kobe indicted? Why do you feel like Kobe raped her? Anybody can say
You
anything
would
about anybody.
have
I
to
can say that
read
she
the
raped me.
paperwork. First of all, his story changed several times. First of all. Second of all, he says she wanted it. He specifically admitted to choking the girl. There was blood all over his fucking shirt from tearing her fucking asshole up. That nigga did that shit.
So
Some people like. I'm not gonna lie. So I
so
mean,
yeah, let me say
so
that.
what?
See,
Just
this is
because I wait,
why,
wait. Just because I like
nah,
rough sex means that what?
nah.
Anytime I've ever been with a white woman since 2009, I've recorded it. And let me tell you, let me tell you, white women like to be choked and smacked and all that shit. And you have to be like, well, nigga, come again? You want me what?
Well, listen, we're not talking, first of all, we're not talking about a motherfucker that needed any money. The woman came, family got long money. So we're not talking about somebody that needed anything from
How the
Kobe,
family got long
period.
money and she's a hotel maid?
Listen, I'm telling you, you need to read the paperwork. Until you read
Send
the
it to me. Send
paperwork,
it to me.
we
Send it to
can't
me.
have this discussion.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All right.
She wasn't a maid. She wasn't a maid.
I thought
She worked at
she was
the
a maid.
front desk. She was a concierge.
Oh, so she was working at a hotel, but I sound suspect. Send me the information. Let me go. It's been a while, so I want
It's researchable. It's available online. The court documents, you can read it for
to.
yourself. You
I
can read the
I'm
motherfucker.
I'm willing
The
to
motherfucker,
succeed
look,
on this.
the motherfucker, he was so trifling, right? The shirt that he wiped the cum off with, he threw it in the police officer's face. This is how fucking disrespectful that bitch is. Fuck
I'm
Kobe.
willing to succeed on that one because I don't really know. So I'm gonna say, damn, we were supposed to really be talking about cheating, and we got to this whole situation. Well, shit, since we're here, we might as well make it a whole show. Okay, so
Well, wait, hey Donnie, I gotta switch devices. Add me back.
all right, so Robert Kelly. Now my girl is just woken up. She walking around. She gonna hear me say the words Robert Kelly, and the shivers gonna go down her spine. Do y'all feel like he was guilty of? Now we know the nigga. Everybody know the nigga was fucking a 15-year-old. We beyond that. Do you feel like he was holding his girl hostage?
Absolutely. I think R. Kelly got a real problem, and niggas is about to find out some shit about R. Kelly that's gonna blow their fucking mind. This trial about to blow the lid up off some shit, and it's gonna blow the lid up off some shit that's gonna go way deeper
I
than R.
agree with
Kelly,
you,
which is
Bianca.
why R. Kelly has been protected all these years, because this shit goes so deep. And as far as this industry shit goes, it goes way deeper than R. Kelly. A lot of people gonna get caught up in this shit. That's why with a lot of people trying to protect him, but they can't protect him no more. And it's about to get really real in the field. That's what I think.
But do you so Bianca, do you believe that all these people that is coming out and saying that R. Kelly did this to them, do you believe every single one of them?
I'm like 50 Cent. He did that shit.
Okay. I I I I kinda I know he did it, but I don't
And I'm going to
believe
tell you why I feel like that. Because about 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, Um, I pulled the Cook County records. That's the type of person I am. I pull court documents. I pulled the Cook County records. I pulled all that shit.
On
All of the lawsuits.
Robert Kelly.
On Robert Kelly. It's several lawsuits against Robert Kelly and the record company that he was with at the time. Several of them. I found at least 6 myself from him settling out of court because he did all these things to these little girls. The first one was you remember the girl that was on that Surviving R. Kelly, the girl in the red that changed her hairstyle?
I quit watching that shit after the first one, and what's her name got up
Okay, well, she was one of the first people that they interviewed. And she mentions in the interview how she met him through her friend. Now, that little girl she's talking about was a middle schooler that he got pregnant and forced to have an abortion. That's one of the lawsuits he settled out of court. All this shit is documented.
Nope.
Wow.
So now we're talking about R. Kelly again.
Well, you know what?
Man, these people are like these people are incarcerated. It's like they're being punished.
Nobody.
It's like,
let me.
go ahead.
Nobody is doubting the fact that R. Kelly has a predilection for little girls. Nobody doubts the fact that R. Kelly is a pervert. He's a weirdo and everything else.
Okay, nobody doubts that. But what I'm saying, but let me ask you this, Donnie. Do you honestly think that he did this to every single one of these people? I mean, come on.
I think that he was fucking little kids. I mean, I saw the video. I was a kid my damn self. I saw the video and I was like, wow, this nigga R. Kelly is over here eating a bitch ass with a Grammy in the background.
Yeah, that shit's intense.
You have to understand.
And I saw the video of him peeing on the girl.
Yeah. So this is the whole dynamic of what that nigga was doing. But what I'm asking specifically is this nigga holding these girls hostage like they say he's holding?
I disagree. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, and let me tell you why. Because these parents some of these parents let their child just go with R. Kelly. That's what I believe. Because if your child, the ones that didn't, he should be punished. But the ones that did, I feel like they don't need to sit up and cry on camera. As like seriously, like okay, you let your daughter go with this man. For example, right? For example, Aaliyah. What was Aaliyah doing married at 15? Come on now.
That was something that he orchestrated and facilitated.
Yeah, so the story with that, and you got to excuse my son's crying, doing a bunch of the background, but the story with that is R. Kelly pulled a slick move with the parents, and the parents weren't aware until after the fact. Once the parents were aware, now we have an issue. But aside from that, R. Kelly pulled a slick move, and the parents found out eventually. And I really do want to know what the parents' response on that was and how did they react. Because there should have been a whole lot of more shit. I think he should have been dead. Let's just be honest.
I agree. Because
when Aaliyah, he started dealing with Aaliyah's uncle was his manager. So she wasn't necessarily left with R. Kelly by herself because she was left in the care of her uncle, first of all. Second of all, I agree 100% that Aaliyah was failed. You can look in that girl's face and all them fucking pictures and tell that she was tormented and wanted to get the fuck up out of there. He just seemed like a nasty ass nigga to me. And to be going through that at that age.
Nasty ass nigga.
He is a nasty ass nigga. The whole album 12 Play is about Aaliyah. That was a play on her.
Was it when he met her? The whole album was about her?
She was 12 when he met her.
The whole album was about her. Yes.
The whole motherfucking album.
No.
Yes.
Summer Bunnies.
Someone might let me crazy. Listen,
Yeah, it's all kind of fucking songs he be talking about fucking with her. You gotta listen to what he be saying, and when you actually go through the lyrics, is when you gonna start feeling dirty your goddamn self, because you gonna be like, damn, I was singing along to this shit, and the whole time he was talking about fucking on her 12-year-old ass.
Exactly.
12 play.
I
12
feel
play.
I feel dirty when I listen to It Seems Like You Ready. Cause
Yeah, because
that
why in the
that was
fuck is you
wild.
telling a grown ass woman to have no fucking fear? Ain't no grown ass woman scared of no dick.
I mean, well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know any grown women scared of dick. If you know any grown women scared of dick, that
Ah, yeah.
what the fuck?
What would we be trying to run?
Anyway.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
you gotta
saying.
advertise before itself. I think like a champ. Oh,
Hey, but for real though, just I noticed Dre left, but
Straight popping.
huh?
He gonna pop back in. He got the boot somehow and something else. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. But just
Okay,
saying,
nope.
this is why.
You gonna be on?
This is why. Yeah. This is why I never
Okay.
really got into getting too drunk too often. Had that drunken club lifestyle because I didn't want stuff to happen that was beyond my control. So Dre, I'm sorry that happened to you. And our baby came as a result of it, and that's messed up too. So um, but what I'm trying to say is it's not good when it happens to anyone, male or female. It really isn't, and it changes and destroys lives every day. So there, that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Not too
horrible situation, right? But you know what? Knowing you done bounced back and kept rolling. But it's good that you're here and able to give people a story, let them know what happened, and shit. You even hold yourself accountable for the situation that you really could have prevented in certain cases. So I salute you, bro.
Yeah, I salute you too. Your
I
ass should have
salute
went to the
you.
police.
Now, next time, make sure you walk your ass into the police station if there's a next time. Hopefully, never.
I, I mean,
Now, Kev, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Oh, I'm cool. I'm just here. Thanks for having me on the show as always. Got the little unit like sitting right next to me. Playing with stickers and shit. Pepper. Oh, is that Peppa Pig? Oh yeah, that's Peppa Pig right
Yeah,
there.
my
She's
kid ain't
playing
allowed
with
to
Peppa Pig stickers.
yeah, Peppa Pig be talking back to his parents. That's not gonna work for me.
Oh yeah.
uh,
But mama,
What? No Pepper Pig, man.
but
yeah,
mommy.
baby. With a British accent, my kid is already halfway there. We not finna. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
Uh,
put
his mama got a British accent. I'm trying to prevent that.
'em-
Yeah, the D. No, but
They did.
so yesterday. No, it was this morning. No, it was yesterday. Talking about BGS Idmore and the whole doxing situation with him. So what happened with that?
he got docs information pulled, and they went at his daughter. They started calling his daughter with all kinds of stuff. So he
No, that,
decided that he was tired of it. It wasn't fun anymore, and he called it quits for YouTube. Yeah.
Damn.
And he wasn't he was one of the bigger players in the black sector. So he had been around for years. So what my thing is, it's too bad that something like that can happen. I think that it's extremely fucking childish to dock someone. It just means that you're a loser and you're solidified. Period. I mean, like I'm always been this kind of person. Come at me all you want. Leave my family out of it. And some of our people are to the point where we're so childish I mean, and then we can't stand conceding in a discussion. But I did hear that, along with this, he also had a bunch of toxic people on his panel. This is just from, I'm just hearing this stuff. I'm not targeting anyone that might have been on that panel. I mean, I've only checked out one, two, three, maybe three of his broadcasts, but I know he has a place in like the manosphere of YouTube and in the black sector. So it's just think. I mean, the thing is like I just feel like doxing is pretty childish and is pretty stupid. It's an invasion of privacy. And this is why YouTube is like redoing their anti-harassment policies over and over again because of stuff like this. We can't be mature enough to do this on our own. So the large corporate entity has to do it for everybody, and that's going to end up costing a lot of people who have good intentions their channels because stupid stuff like that. So I mean, is whether anybody has a different perspective or not. Because I had somebody comment on my video, oh, when you can find it on Google, it's public information, and people just like this feel like, what are you Googling a person for in the first place? That's what I don't get. A lot of that stuff starts from jokes told on Facebook or jokes told on YouTube, or like I said, not being able to concede a point. And it gets that far. They turn into e-beefs and people, we within this circle have experienced that kind of thing firsthand. We know we're no stranger to that kind of thing. We already know what that's like, and it's just and it's so unnecessary and it's emotionally taxing. And I mean, and then on the other side of it, it's just some man child or some girl child, and that just won't have nothing else better to do with their lives but to continue losing and to mess with people from afar and abroad. So it's all bullshit. I mean, I didn't know BGS that well, but it's like, for me, that's a shame when that happens to anyone. So, I mean, and also, I also take into account that I don't know all the details. I don't know the entire story. I mean, I'm basically, my opinion just is going off what I hear. I just think doxing sucks. Leave people's family out of that shit, especially their children. I mean, they ain't got nothing to do with that. I mean, if you want somebody to go down, I mean, you'll just debunk their talking points. I mean, it's like you can kill a person by having them make themselves look dumb. But that's just not cool. It makes it not fun, and it just makes people want to quit, just like BGS did. He just wanted to quit. So, yeah, good job, people. Do better.
Yeah, okay. So
what I heard actually something different on the situation. First, I pay attention, even though I may not go to certain areas, but I noticed that BGS was doxxed by some people that we are known and fond with. Somebody that spin around and go through rocks in the ground and somebody with some worn out nylon panties. But he was doxxed by them first because they were coming at
one more time.
They were
You said he was doxxed by some people that did some what?
He was doxxed by Nyla and Taz first. I don't know if they even knew that, but I saw the video where she had did that to him. And she did that to him, Angry Man. They were doing that shit and they were talking about it in a back chat on another area. So that's what got his information out there. When that in the last 3 weeks. That's why I find it funny that, wait a minute, BGS ain't never been involved in none of this crap. And now in the last 3 weeks, after you put his name in that bullshit and talk about who the fuck he is, show his picture and all that, all of a sudden, now his daughter getting threats.
So you're saying...
So technically, it streams back to Nyla and Taz. Because nobody was fucking with him like that until she put the shit out there. And you see, I'm calling it like it is on the show right now. You can just, because I heard it.
So Nyla,
she put the shit out there first, and when some people who didn't like BGS picked it up and ran with it.
How long ago?
She was the one that put it out there 3 weeks ago.
So wasn't she just crying about being doxxed her damn self?
Thank you. That's the reason why. Right after somebody doxed her, was talking all that bullshit about all them people. That's why I said there's no offense. You deserve whatever happened to you. But the problem is, I can understand where he coming from. The man's older than us. You sitting up here, and instead of the troll coming at him, the troll put on there. This is the terminology they use. They use the word, these are people on my hit list. Now, old fashioned people, when you say this motherfucker on the hit list, that's somebody that's gonna get killed, not just doxxed. That, you know what I mean? Oh, that's old. You don't use that terminology. Technically, if you use that terminology now, and you say, yeah, man, they put me on the hit list, they was about to get me, and I shot them first, you could probably get a chance of escaping your case on that. Because they could be like, well, wait a minute, you put on, this person was marked to be killed.
Yeah, we're familiar with that terminology. I mean, more familiar than you actually think.
Right. And so that's the problem. That's the problem. And then think about it, this guy. And from what I heard too, they said it's like somebody spoke to her that she didn't know all of a sudden. But you don't play no shit like that. You want to play games like that, is no offense. Like I told him, it's time. If you want to sit up here and involve people, think about it, these people don't think, this woman don't know shit about YouTube. And how would you feel if you got trolls and shit walking up, approaching somebody in the real world, and they have nothing to do with it? Like me, I done said my shit on online and offline. If a motherfucker approach me, that's fine. But if they picture being approached by people you don't even know and have no dealing with, and on top of that, being a woman, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because she's a woman. I mean, that's a real, you don't play like that. God damn, what is the damn code to this house?
Well, I guess you gotta play it safe in these YouTube streets. Be careful who you form your alliances with, or you can get yourself into a major pile of shit.
Yep.
All right. Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's typically what happens. So since we talking on the subject, I was gonna do cheating. Like I said, I'll do cheating tomorrow. Tonight, let's keep this conversation going. All right, y'all remember the opera conversation, right? The opera rape. No, anybody else?
The opera rape.
So in Atlanta, they had a nightclub called Opera. A woman went.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
it went viral. Everybody was saying she was raped in the club and everything else.
Jasmine Island.
That one.
Yeah. So basically, as it stands now, they, I don't want to say they've basically kept that man from being able to work. They kept him with no bail. The charges are not rape. He didn't get a rape charge. The statement is from her own deposition. Basically, is that he stuck a finger in her booty.
Really.
Yeah, so he was charged with sodomy. The sodomy was downgraded to some type of sexual assault. I can't think of what it is. Off the top of my head. And then what they're really killing him with right now, which has really hit him over the head, is they've got him for an actual sexual assault for a woman that he allegedly met, I think, a year prior. And they're saying that he drugged her. She woke up in the bed with him. What are your thoughts on that?
Sounds like for a woman to say I was with that dude a year ago and he did something sexual to me, but you're just now saying it, I gotta kind of discount her altogether because with what goes on with people claiming rapes and all, I got to just say, and with all you get caught for long, my stance is gonna have to be the line. If it happened, you're gonna report it immediately, so as much evidence can be collected and it can be proved beyond a shadow of a doubt this person did something to you. We need to know the context of the situation. I need to know from other people that you just do that night. I need to know what really happened. If you're hiding what happened,
So,
People who are,
so Roger, you're kind of hard to hear you with your Bluetooth. But from what I did hear with your Bluetooth, basically, it sounds like it sounds like what Dre said. Dre said he was seen out with a person. He knows, what the thought process was going to be. He kind of knew what he was getting into, but he went out and he didn't feel like anyone was going to believe him. So, do you feel like that played a part into it?
no. What I'm saying is, if a woman doesn't claim she was raped immediately, then she's probably lying.
Wow.
Now, like I said,
Wait a minute.
now that I think about it, you weren't here for what Dre said, right? So
Man, I
Dre
can't
said
deal with these Negroes.
Drake said he was sexually assaulted. He never claimed anything. He's to this day hasn't gone to the police station and said anything.
No, what I'm trying to say is this. I ain't even gonna lie. Now think about it. A victim of a rape that been in jail because of the circumstances of the rape, even after the bullshit. I still say, if a motherfucker don't come out within a certain amount of time, and I'm gonna say like this, 30 days. After 30 days, too fucking bad. You just gotta take that L. And you see, I'm living by that rule that I say. I just gotta take that L.
Boy, you chose to live by that dumbass rule.
Well, I mean, plain and simple.
No.
Yeah, I chose to live on it. But the fact is this but the fact is this.
But
I
that's
would
your personal
rather
choice.
wait.
That's not
Let me finish.
everybody
I
has
would
their own
rather
personal
wait a
choice.
minute, baby girl. This is the fact when it comes to facts and feelings. I would rather let 10 innocent people. I would rather let 10 guilty people go than to frame one innocent.
Okay, Bianca, go ahead. Shoot unfettered. Get your point out.
Behind these statements, I just can't even understand. I can't even begin to even fathom. First of all, if you choose not to come forward, that's your personal choice for your life. You chose to sit on that egg your whole entire life. And now you have a whole child out here. That's the egg. That was that egg. Okay. And you sitting on that. That's something you got to live with every day because you chose not to hold that woman
And I
accountable
am.
for her
I'm not
actions.
complaining.
That's what you chose for yourself.
But
Every
I'm not
other
complaining.
victim in the world does not have to make that same choice for themselves. And you cannot say in one breath that a motherfucker owes you reparations and then turn around and tell another victim that if you don't say something within 30 days, then shut the fuck up.
Here's the question. I never wait. No. Rira, you said it wrong already. I never said wait. No. You put a lie in it. Wait a minute. It's my story. You put a fucking lie in it. I never said this bitch owe me shit. That's the problem. Look. I just chalked it as a loss. Plain and simple. You didn't report the shit when it happened. You gotta take that L. I gotta take it. That's what it is.
So
but that's all I'm saying is you women need to
within 30 days.
Right, you gotta take that. Well, think about it. Look at Bill Cosby case. They brought that shit up 10 years later. Right. So think about it. If you can't think about it, if you can't get a case, wait a minute though. If you can't win a case in 30 days, what the fuck kind of evidence you gonna have 10 years later?
The woman went to the police in 2004 when it happened. The police didn't follow up with her. So you cannot blame that on the victim.
But Bianca,
then butt would be no.
Hold on.
But the circumstances of the evidence was weak.
I mean, the circumstances of the evidence was weak in the opinion of that particular attorney. But the next district attorney that came into office felt like the preponderance of evidence was strong enough, and they got a conviction. So you can say whatever you want to say. But it is what it is.
But think about it. Wait. But think about it. There are people getting convictions. Wait a minute. There's people getting convictions for not even touching a person. There's people getting convictions for just making a comment to a person nowadays.
Cosby, though.
But I'm just trying to say, right? Right. I'm just saying. Think about it. If they can convict a man for just talking and didn't touch her, didn't do nothing. I mean, literally, the way that they out for blood. That's why I even tell the men, you just better be careful and be on guard at all times. Oh, hold on, I gotta punch you.
So if they're doing all this convicting, what does that have to do with you choosing not to go forward?
Wait 1 second. I gotta punch in. So go ahead and let somebody else answer that.
How somebody else gonna answer that?
Hey, listen, I'm doing daddy stuff right now, so I'm gonna leave y'all on your own for y'all behave.
That's hilarious. Anyways, at the end of the day, like I said, the logic behind that is crazy. If y'all think that that's okay for if you don't say something within 30 days, then like, what if she in a coma? What if she's in a coma like the bitch that got raped in the park? What if she's in a coma for 3, 4, 5 months?
Well, I mean, you're talking about evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you're talking about evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt, then I mean, so I would think that would be pretty easy to follow up. But you know, we're talking about what I think what they're talking is
evidence beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, getting beat up and in a coma, and you know, you're obviously been raped. I mean, yeah, that's beyond.
They convicted little boys that wasn't even guilty. That's my whole point. I'm talking about the Central Park 5, and this is that's the whole point. You're talking about the preponderance of evidence, but they convicted 5 boys that didn't do it. So we got to really examine what happened. That's what we got to do. We have to hold the motherfuckers accountable that are guilty. We got to really examine what happens. And if the wrong
that's a systemic flaw.
People accountable. The people that put the wrong people in jail.
Okay. Now what question did you want me to answer? I'm back. I had to punch in.
Let me say this real, because I can say anything. I said with the fact that we got so many people that are now complaining about this stuff. For a person who got raped, they get reported that night. Period. Tell me why everything just happened. Let me know. We got the evidence. Tell me right then. Don't tell me about it again. Like, tell me now.
Good point.
And truth be told, every we say stuff like all these people have been raped. We don't have evidence that all these people were raped. We have people that have never actually been confirmed. There's a lot of people who say something about rape, and rape has never been confirmed because it was a year later, it was a month later, it was 10 years later. The rape was never actually confirmed. It's just a report that somebody said it. So
Rod, it's real hard to hear you, bro. You got the I don't know if it's the Bluetooth you working with or what.
I'm gonna jump in back. I'll be
back. But now they got lie detector tests to prove this stuff. So if it does go down and the judge or the police officer might say, all they got to do is say, give me a lie detector test, and that'll be it.
I don't think a lie detector test is at the point to where, because motherfuckers are psychopaths and everything else. Honestly, you know, it has to be a situation of a preponderance of evidence, right? The way the legal system is set up is we need to prove without a shadow of doubt that you were guilty of a crime. And I understand that a victim can go through so many stages of grief and everything else and may not want to say something because they've been violated. But just like I told Dre, you need to go out and say something, because if you don't and you come back a decade later, there's nothing I can do for you because there's really no proof. We can't run a DNA on you and do the rape kit and run the test on you. There's no video footage, or it's going to be real hard to find. Then we got to go back and tear this whole person's life apart, which may or may not be true. I understand that it's a whole situation to where a victim is put in a bad position, but no matter what kind of situation that you're in, you need to step up, stand up, and say, "Hey, I've been violated." Maybe I'm wrong. Does anybody disagree with me? Does anybody feel like I'm foolish for saying that?
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick. And I'm saying this as a dad. Two things. If anything ever happens to my daughter, it's two things. I hope she says something immediately, and I hope she's telling the truth, because I'm going to prison. That's all there is to it. If she lying, you know you threw daddy's life away. But hey, I mean, I thought you were telling the truth. I mean, I don't want to hear, I don't want to even think anything has happened to my child. And I should hope that if I am in a position where I can't do anything about it, which the only thing I can see is dead, um, I should hope that she does see justice. And that's what I'll say. I mean, but I mean, what kind of what these guys are saying is right. You need to, like, just like with Drake, you need to tell someone. Period. Or is you narrow you narrow the chances of actually you know
catching the bad guy. Like
yes
it's a
yes that
proposition. Like maybe like I understand the fact that if you were a kid and the uncle touched you or a brother or some close relative, right? You don't have the courage. You think you're in a bad position, but the moment you become an adult and something like this happens and you sit and say nothing, there's nothing I can do for you. Even if that person is guilty and we know that they're guilty but just can't prove anything, what are we supposed to do? You see what I'm saying?
But what
I
if
got
you're talking about someone that has been a victim as a child and then they are a victim as an adult?
So you're
Because
saying
that's a
they were
thing as well.
victimized as a child and then they become an adult and
I'm
then they were
saying that
victimized
that's a
again?
thing. That's a
Yeah,
thing.
that,
There's a pattern of abuse in a lot of people's lives. That's a thing.
it is.
Because you see what I'm saying? Like it's just a thing. I can't even really describe it, but it's just a thing that happens to people. So sometimes you're dealing with someone that doesn't really have the tools necessary to face that type of heat. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you tell that person in that instance? It's like you gotta allow people to reach that point of strength on their own, and it just happens for people when it happens for them. I can't put a timetable on someone else's life. I just can't do that. I don't feel like I have the authority to even speak on that. That's some real boisterous ass shit to do. What do I look like telling you what your timetable look like?
I mean I understand that, right? But in the same breath, you have to think of it from both sides of the table. Yes, you are a victim. The person may have sexually assaulted you, right? So we'll just make the assumption that that story actually happened. I can't prove it 10 years later. What was the point in me saying anything other than to cause hell, right? So I understand the mindset behind, what, this person needs to be exposed, the truth needs to come out. But at that point, you need to start gathering evidence. Make that motherfucker expose himself, tell him himself, do something. But if you say some shit 10 years after the fact, there's nothing I can do about it.
So what would you suggest? They put it in a book?
Kill that nigga. Hey, listen, you hire a hitman. Let's work it out. I don't know. I don't have any answers for you because I'm not in this position.
Because a lot of times that's really all it is. People want to finally get that shit off their chest because it's either you release it or you carry it. One or the other. Those are your options.
You're absolutely right.
So if you choose not to release it and you carry it, that's going to be a fucked up life to live because you're carrying some shit for a long ass time. So essentially everybody gets to the point where they want to release it. How they choose to release it, that's on them. And if they end up victimizing other people in that release, then that's something they're going to have to deal with on their own anyway. Like, there's consequences to everything.
I agree 100%.
But who am I to say what it is? That's all my like.
I don't know.
30-day shit is crazy to me.
It's not a hard situation. Like I get that I don't know, it's fucked up. But at that point in time, you tell something. If it happens to you, this why I'm not for all this police shit. If something happens to me, something happened to my son, to my daughter, to anybody, I'm gonna go handle it, and we're gonna have to deal with the consequences. because I would have enough faith in you that you wouldn't come to me with some bullshit, right?
Hammer time. I understand. But that's your choice too. And I feel like everybody has to make that choice for themselves. And you're not going to know what that choice will be until you're in the thick of it. And it might take you 60 days.
Oh my god! All right. Well, my son is having a whole shit fit. Bianca is out here plotting, motherfuckers some time. I hope you got some bail money for a nigga. In the meantime, in between time, I'm about to end this show. It was a great conversation. We were supposed to talk about cheating. Cheating is tomorrow at this point. I'm gonna let y'all have your final statements. We're gonna go from left to right. Oh shit. Well, Kev the Mighty, there you up.
This is Kev, and I'm also in the process of parenting because my daughter keeps putting stuff in my head, and I'm sitting here taking it, and that's okay because that's about the only little person that can do that. But nothing's more important to me than protecting my child, especially with her being a girl. And I hope that the monsters stay away because I call myself the monster slayer. Um, you know, and I should hope for the best for all of your children too, and hopefully that this world won't consume them or take them away from us. That's pretty much all I got to say. Subscribe to all of our channels as we will continue to bring you interesting content, and also about the whole doxing thing. It's a lot of BS going on. And what it is destroying the opportunity for Black YouTube to actually make somewhat of a significant impact in not only social media but media itself. And as long as we got little stuff holding us back like that, we will never be as great as we all can be. So, we're here to offer up something greater here at the Habitual Line Steppers Network. And I hope you all continue to tune in for the foreseeable and far future. So thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe. That's all I gotta say. I'm good.
Next up, we
Thanks,
got
Johnny.
Raphael. What's up, Raphael?
What up? Um, I don't. If I feel I agree with the man that was on this panel. I feel like if you were a victim of rape, you should speak up, or if anything happens to you, speak up and speak out. That's all I gotta say.
Much appreciated, bro, man. Next up, we got Roger Report. Since you you just popped in last, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Um,
This, you have people that have claimed they have been raped. We know this for sure. We got many people who have claimed to be raped. We have many people that it has never actually been confirmed that they have been raped. We also know we have people that have lied about being raped on multiple occasions. That's the facts that we have. So court is not about do I feel good, do I not feel good. It's not about the development of your life. Court is supposed to be about facts. And can you prove someone beyond of a shadow of a doubt committed a crime? That being the case, if a woman gets raped, she needs to report that immediately. We need to know the context of the situation. Who was she with? Did she just meet the guy that night? Were they already sexually involved with each other in the past? You know what I'm saying? What evidence is available to collect? Did she take the rape kit? Who saw what? Where were the witnesses? Who saw what on camera? Was this person drugged? All these things you can find a lot of where you can find an answer to a lot of these different things if we know about it immediately. But if it's not known immediately and you tell someone about it, 6 months down the road, year later, I'm not saying that the woman is 100% telling a lie. But at the end of the day, if you can't prove it in court, what's the point in even saying something? At that point, you might as well just tell your friends, your family, or maybe you need to see a therapist for your personal development. But court is not about personal development. It's about can you prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that somebody committed a crime? That's either yes or no. So court is not therapy. Therapy is therapy. And we need to start looking at stuff the way it is and not looking at things through an emotional lens. I understand there's a lot of women who claim they've been raped, but I also understand there's a lot of women who claim to have been raped, and we can't prove none of them been raped in a lot of those cases. And they may have never actually been raped at all. That is the truth of the situation. Because women lie, same way men lie. So just because rape happens to be the lie being told does not mean as a man I'm supposed to just accept it.
Okay, well there you go, Bianca. I'm sure you got a whole lot of mouth to spit out. Go ahead and put that out there in the ethos.
I really do not. I really don't. I'll just say, is troubling you. Let that shit go. That's all I'm gonna say. You do not have to hold on to any bullshit in your life, especially if it's weighing you down. I don't suggest you hold on to any burdens. Let that shit go. So whoever you have to confront, whatever you have to do in order to release that bullshit from your life so that you can move on and be a healthy human being, you should do that. The sooner the better. And that's all I got.
Well, damn. You know what? Typically in these conversations, this is weird, and especially with my background because I've been falsely accused, right? These are conversations that are kind of near and dear to my heart. But in reality, I only know one side of the conversation. I know the falsely accused portion, right? I don't know what it's like to be a victim in the sense of you've had something taken away from you. I also do not know what it's like to be in the position of somebody who's a victimizer, right? So ultimately, when you have these conversations, you want to see it from different people's perspective. I think the common theme in this conversation, whether you see it from this perspective or from that perspective, is stand up for yourself, no matter how hard it seems, and say something. Even if the police have kind of waved you off, stand up for yourself because the sooner you can get it in, the sooner you can have this conversation and have a preponderance of evidence to show that this person did this to you or whatever the case may be. Whether you're male, female, in a position that looks crazy, in a position that doesn't look crazy. Stand up, say something. And with that, I'm out. Now, multiple times throughout this conversation, I'm sure somebody said something that was crazy, ridiculous, and you said, you know what? Bianca ain't shit. Roger Report ain't shit. But at the end of the day, you ain't shit for watching. Y'all have a wonderful evening.